Okay, let's start. Certain tunes was dispatched already on think Thursday or Friday. So those tunes probably today or tomorrow at least will get. And certain tunes were dispatched yesterday, some were dispatched today. Probably before the 7 will be getting, don't worry. Okay, the same paper we did last week, the third term paper. I think it's the Western Province. Yes, Ilma. Yeah, the Western Province paper, grade 11. Um, so let's do discussion. Yeah, I'll give you yes. I'll give you 7 minutes. Try doing this question out of your. Certain tunes, as the similar tunes were dispatched. The whatever tunes that was dispatched, we have got SMS. Go and check your SMS. We have got the tunes that this tune has been dispatched. Why, Ilman? Why? By knowing that what I going to do. Do this question out of your. Once done, raise your hands up. That might later. Yes, some of you have got that you got it. I think 14, I think first 15 tunes was dispatched on Thursday or something. The remaining only were dispatched yesterday and today. I got the tunes are dispatched. You didn't get it, you will get it on Wednesday. Ah, yes. It's orange. Actually, orange, yellow, that's the original color. Yes, Hassan, yes. Check your SMS regarding that. I will get one update. No, sir, not 6:45, 4:45. Palaka dosha. Okay. Once you're done answering, raise your hands up. Yes, Hassan. But Hassan, that's a value defined by you, right? You only set it in your remote. It was not a value given from the, like, for example, just go to a different room from where the AC is there. And from the different room, if you go and increase and decrease, in the remote, it will show increased or decreased. But if you go and look at the AC, it will not be changed, right? So it's not that there is no communication. Okay, your time is up. Let's check your answer. Only eight of you did the question on time? See. Can you give another 5 minutes, sir? Wait, how many of you need some time to this question? 7 minutes is more than enough, actually. I joined late. Okay, I'll discuss the first question first, and then I will show you the Roman number three and give time to do Roman number two and three together. I'll give 5 minutes for that separately. Okay. So first of all, let's discuss the Roman number one. First, let's discuss Roman number one because that's not related to the Roman number two. Roman number two and three has a small connection, but one is completely different. So let's check that. Okay. So in this question, they have mentioned that Amarabandhu Mudalali selected the software development team led by Arjun to create an automated bill processing system for his supermarket. Arjun studied the existing system well. So there's a fellow called Arjun, it seems. He has studied the existing system very well and gathered information to meet the new requirements. Okay. Here, Arjun was planned to identify software related install the very bad English. Arjun was planned. I think Arjun planned to identify software related to install a barcode system and design the infrastructure of data storage and interface. Okay. So another thing he did was he identified the softwares to install for the barcode system and design the infrastructure of data storage interface. Fine. Arjun assigned his team member Teekshana to build a program for the new system. Teekshana and his team implemented a training program for Amarabandhu Mudalali and two computer assistants. Okay, after that, Teekshana and his team has implemented a training program for Amarabandhu Mudalali and his two computer assistants. After installing new billing processing system with supermarkets computers, the software development team took over its further maintenance. Right. What is Arjun's occupation or job related to the above incident? Right. Now you can see what is the main thing what is Arjun doing? Is what's the main task Arjun is doing here? No, this is not the business studies question, man. Sole trader business it is. This is IT question. What is his task? SDLC, first phase. Arjun is actually identifying requirements here. Okay, actually, what Arjun here is doing is he is identifying identifying the requirements for the new system. Normally, in a software development company, this identifying requirement is right. That is done by a person called as a business analyst. It is not done by software. I mean, software developers can do it, but normally the person who does it is someone called as a business analyst, or you can also call them as a system analyst. Both are correct. Okay. So the system analyst or business analyst, this is the bugger that's going to go and identify the requirements of a new system. So if you had wrote either business analyst or system analyst, or as if you wrote identifying requirements, all three answers are correct. Any questions, anyone? Program developer, system developer, no. Developer is a person who normally writes the code. The word developer means he's going to develop an application. So here Arjun is not developing the application. It's Teekshana who is the developer, not Arjun. So developer is wrong. Any other questions you have here? So if you wrote any of these three answers, put 1 mark there. If there's any questions, drop in the chat. In charge of designing the software according to the requirements studied. Correct. Programmer, wrong. Write two different methods taken by Arjun to gather information. Okay. First of all, they have said he studied the existing system very well and gathered information to meet the new requirement. Okay. Now, in this scenario, they have not told you how he studied the existing system is not clearly mentioned. Okay. How he studied was not clearly mentioned. So you can mention any answer there because it's not exactly mentioned what was the task he did. They have just told that he studied the existing system, but they have not mentioned exactly which task he did. So therefore, you can tell any of the fact-finding techniques there. So for example, Do we have the names of the people who engage in STLC phase? Nope. Normally, term test, they ask unwantedly questions. So expect the unexpected. This is a term test paper. Whole paper, they don't ask for that, but yeah, term test, they can. So yeah, two different methods taken by Arjun. You can mention they are observing the existing system. So observation is one, or you can elaborate and write observing the existing system. Or you can mention, let's say, interviewing Mr. Samarabandhu. What is his name? Amarabandhu. Okay, interview Mr. Amarabandhu. That's also correct. Then you can mention giving questionnaires for Amarabandhu and the office and his two assistants. Or you can directly mention questionnaires as well. Or you can elaborate and write. Then you can mention collecting some sample documents of the current bills they have. Or simply you can mention document sample collection. Right? Sample collection. You can write it simply or you can write elaboratively as well. Both are acceptable. Then you can mention 1, 2, 3, 4 prototyping. So prototyping you can mention going through a similar system and showing that to Amarabandhu and finding the requirements. But here prototyping is not so suitable. The remaining ones are suitable. What's prototyping? Imagine I want to build a class management system or learning management system. So for example, for learning management system, let's say like like a website, let's say that you can use to purchase classes, watch recording, all those stuffs. Example for that is Master IT. Master IT is an example of that. And if you take Master Online, when building Master Online, if you notice Master Online is like a copy of Master IT website. So when we are building Master Online, it's not the exact copy. You can see there are some changes here, right? So what we did is we use the Master IT website and looking at the Master IT website, like, okay, but in our website, we can include this feature, we can include this feature, we can include this feature. So we identified what are the things to include in Master Online. I identified what are the things to include in Master Online by referring Master IT. So by referring one demo application to create another application, that's like prototyping. And to create Master IT website, there was another demo I referred to. To create Master IT is completely based on Master Maths. So when I was building the Master IT website, I went through Master Maths website to just have a rough idea of what are the things that are included. So I had a demo website. Okay, I had another website. I was referring that website. I was getting inspiration from that website to understand, okay, I have to include this part. I have to include this part. I have to include this part. So that's what prototyping is. We're going to look at similar products and identify requirements. Got it? Can we write studying the existing system? The question is asking, how did he study the existing system? So these are the different ways you can study the existing system. Okay. Observation, interviewing, questionnaires, document sample collection, or prototyping. Actually, prototyping is not suitable, like it's available. Is prototyping and document sample collection same? Based on my explanation, I told you now. You itself think is it the same? Imagine I'm making a billing system. For a billing system, example for what you called document sample collection is, let's say, currently they'll have a bill book, right? Going and collecting his bill book and referring his bill book and identifying how he records his invoices. That is document sample collection. I'm going to go and collect some sample documents. And using sample documents, I'm going to identify requirements. Prototyping means I'm going to go and see a similar system. Like, for example, let's say I'm going to make a system for Amarabandhu. I'll go to, let's say, Keel Super. I'll go and see how is Keel Super system working. Let's say I have contact there in Keel Super. I'll go and see how Keel Super system is working. And by referring Keel Super system, I'll take Amarabandhu and go to Keel Super. Okay, see in Keel Super, we have this system. So this is how we have made a system for Keel Super. Do you also want a system like this? I'll show the Keel Super system and I'll make a system for Amarabandhu. That's what prototyping is. What difference? Okay, next. Again, if there's any questions, drop in the chat. If you have mentioned any of these answers, put 1 mark. But again, I tell you, prototyping is not suitable here. Sorry. Has Arjun implemented the second step in a SDLC? State the reason from the above scenario. What do you think? Yes or no? What do you think? Yes or no? Actually, what is the second step? You tell me. What is the second step? Yes. Mostly we say second step is designing. But I told you, even though we say it as designing, it is not just interface designing. It's not just UI designing. It's designing the database, designing the interface, designing how the application would look like. It's a broad path. So you can also call this designing phase as a planning phase. You can also call this designing phase as a planning phase. So has what do you call Arjun planned the whole scenario of how the system should be? Yes. See, Arjun has planned to identify, not planned to identify stuff. He has installed a barcode system and designed infrastructure of data storage and interface. He has decided what type of data storage to use, what type of database to use. So designing the database, that's part. And interfaces. Designing the interface, designing the infrastructure of data storage and interface. Okay. So he has done certain planning required for that part. He has done certain planning required for that part. So technically, keep in mind, it's not just designing. Second phase, you can also consider it as planning. So he has done the planning as per the blue color highlighted statement. So yes, he has. Is that clear? Answer is yes only. Yes. So answer is yes, and you can mention yes as he has planned to design the infrastructure of the data storage and interface. So that's how you elaborate your answer. Got it? Is that clear, Rafna? Because the question has mentioned he has planned to design the interface and the data storage. Yes, that's the reason right. So if you have mentioned yes, you get 1 mark. If you have mentioned the correct reason, you get 1 mark. Total 2 marks there. If there's any questions, drop in the chat. What are the 2 steps completed by Teekshana and the team in the system development cycle? Okay. First, they have said Teekshana is building a program, right? What do you call this phase as? The part of Teekshana building the software? Correct. The process of Teekshana building the software, you can call that as coding the solution, or you can also call that as execution phase. Both are correct. Coding the solution or else execution. Both are correct. Now, after he was done execution, you can see he and his team implemented a training program for Amarabandhu and 2 computer assistants. Okay. Now, in that case, in the training program, what's going to happen is he is going to, what do you call it? In the training program, he's going to show Amarabandhu how to use the system. He's going to show Amarabandhu how to use a system. Now, in that case, Amarabandhu is going to use a system. Amarabandhu will be learning from Tikshana. He'll be using the system. And he'll be seeing is the system solving his problem. He'll be seeing is the system solving problem. And while he's checking that, if he notice any problems, he'll be like, okay, I don't understand. Why is this like this? Can't we change the skill? He'll be giving his suggestions. So that part of Amarabandhu using the system and understanding like all these problems or let's say figuring out all these stuff, that comes on what type of testing? Yes, I know. Yes, that comes under acceptance testing, the testing done by your user, the testing done by your client. We call that as acceptance testing. So technically here what happening is there's a part of acceptance testing happening. Okay. So Arjun and his team member Teekshana to build the program for the new system, and Teekshana and his team implemented a training program for Bandhu and 2 computer assistants. After installing new build processing system, the supermarket's computer software development team. to co for the maintenance. Okay. So apart from that, they are mentioning after installing the new system, the software installing the software development team to co maintenance. They have not clearly mentioned who installed the system. That's why I did not take deployment. But they have told clearly that Amarbandhu and team only built the program. Amarbandhu and team only did the training as well. Okay. And they thought Amarbandhu, so Tikshna and team only built the program. Tikshna and his team only showed Amarbandhu how to use the program. So technically, this comes under acceptance testing. I mean, it comes under acceptance testing. So acceptance testing is coming under which phase of the SDLC? You acceptance testing, not the answer. Did I tell acceptance testing is the answer for the question? Puruma, man. I didn't even tell that acceptance testing is the answer. I was asking, what is this testing? I was elaborating. Now I'm going to come with the answer. Okay, acceptance testing comes under testing and debugging. So the next phase which was relevant here is testing and debugging. I put deployment and maintenance. No, deployment and maintenance was they are not told that it was done by Tikshna team. And maintenance they are told it was done by the software development team. So we don't know exactly who did that, what do you call maintenance part. But Tikshna and his team, they have clearly told that he built the program as well as they were training Amar Bandhu. You told the answer for the E already. What is the answer for the E? Oh, yeah. Implementation. Correct. Implementation, execution, all are same. Code in the solution, execution, implementation. These are all the same. Huh? You can't mention code in the solution and implementation. These are both the same. Huh? Because coding, implementation, execution, all three gives the same idea. These all three are talking about the same thing. So if you mention two of those, like coding and implementation, both these two answers, you will not get 2 marks. You get only 1 mark because both have the same answer. And testing and debugging is next one. My teacher had put wrong for that. Wait. Then you can argue with your teacher using the question number E. I'll tell you how. Wait. In question E, they are saying, what was the systems testing carried out by Tikshana and the team during the training program for Amarabandhu Mudalali and two computer assistants? So what you can go and tell your teacher is, you can go and tell, in this E question, they have told that while doing the training, they have what do you call, they are asking in this question, which testing was done. So then, isn't testing done? You can ask the teacher. Using the question. See, now the question is, they are told that, right? The question is, they are said, when Tikshana and the team was doing the training, they're asking, what was the testing happening here? Okay, I actually told the answer already. I didn't notice that this question is there. But yeah, what type of testing was done? I gave the answer already. Exactly. Acceptance testing. So if acceptance testing was done here, that's relevant for the previous testing and debugging stage. Anyone having any questions? So how the marks goes here is for the Roman number, question C, I told question D, for mentioning code in the solution, execution, implementation. Either one of these, 1 mark. For mentioning testing and debugging, 1 mark. For question E, for acceptance testing, 1 mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of 7, let me know your marks. And if there's any questions, drop in the chat. Isn't it pilot testing? What is pilot testing? Tell me, why is it pilot testing? Giving the system to a small group of people. Okay, who is the small group of people here? Deployment and testing together. Nah. Who is a small group of people? The two assistants in Amarabandhu. Okay, if the two assistants in Amarabandhu is a small group of people, who are the remaining people? If Amarabandhu is the two assistants, a small group of people, who are the remaining people? Yes, sir. In this question, have they told that Amar Bandhu has more than two assistants? First of all, there is no pilot testing. Okay, there is nothing called pilot testing. She has understood as pilot deployment only. I'm just showing that there is no pilot deployment here. There is nothing called pilot testing. It's pilot deployment. But anyways, keeping that thing aside, it's not pilot deployment here. They never talked about the deployment. That's the first thing. But even still, you can't get the idea of pilot deployment here. The reason is because Amar Bandhu and two assistants here, they have told you. But how do you know that Amar Bandhu has only two assistants? Or how do you know that Amar Bandhu has more than two assistants? How do you know that this is a small group of people? How do you know that there are more people? Akshay, check your SMS. You have got a link for a group. Just join the group and I'll tell you later. There. I was just blanked out for a few seconds. That's because I was answering one person's question. Okay, so there's nothing called pilot testing, first thing. And if you're wondering about pilot deployment, first of all, in this scenario, pilot deployment is where you're going to deploy application, which means you're going to publish the application only for a small group of people. So if you're going to publish it for a small group of people, there should be remaining people. For example, if I'm saying, okay, what do you call? I'm going to, let's say, if it is whole world, in the whole world, if you take Sri Lanka's population, it's very less. Sri Lanka is going to be like a small bucket in compared to the whole size of the world. But let's say if I'm going to publish an application for Sri Lankans to use, my main target audience is Sri Lankans. Can I tell it's a pilot deployment? Because why? No, if I do the whole world perspective, Sri Lanka is very small. So I'm going to publish it for a small group of people, not for the whole world. So therefore, it's pilot deployment. Can we take like that? No. What we do is we see our target users divide by the number of users. Now here we don't know who are the target users. We just know Amara Bandhu in the two assistants. We don't know how whether he has more assistants or not. So technically, even you can't think about the deployment here. And anyways, they're not told about the deployment as well. But is your question clear, which you asked? Okay, I missed your marks because I was answering that question. Those who did the question, can you tell me your marks again out of 7? Okay, hatai, pahai, hatai, hayai, hayai, hatai, pahai, hatai, hayai. Okay, good. I can't understand what are they trying to ask by telling physical problem. Okay, so normally you take these, let's say, technical problems or problem related to ICT, you can categorize in a physical problem and logical problem. Now, physical problem means, let's say, what do you call? You have a computer, okay, and let's say there was a tsunami that came, and because of the tsunami, you lost all your data, okay. So the reason you lost your data is tsunami. Now, tsunami is nothing relevant to your logic. It's nothing connected to your brain. It's something that's like a physical problem. It's a tangible problem. Okay, it's a problem that you can see, you can touch, you can feel. When tsunami comes, you can see the water, right? So it's a physical problem. But imagine you lost your data. Here also you're losing your data. Okay, you lost your data due to tsunami. But imagine you lost your data because you're a weak password. Imagine you're in your Google Drive, you had stored some data and you have put a very weak password for your Google account and kept. So one person he was able to figure out the password and he went and deleted all of your data. Now here also you have loss of data, here also you have loss of data. But in physical problem, loss of data was caused to tsunami. It's a physical problem. Logical problem is where the loss of data was happened due to, let's say, um, weak password. So that's a logical problem. You can't go and touch that problem. Weak password is not a problem you can go and touch. You can't feel that problem. You can't see that problem. But physical problem, you can touch, feel, and see. It's tangible. Like, for example, tsunami, you can see. Make sense? Okay. I'll give you another ek, do, teen. Around 3, 4 minutes. Time is too much, actually. Those who did not complete Roman number 2 completed, and those who are looking at the Roman number 3 now, complete that as well. I'll give you 5 minutes. It's too much, but yeah, 5 minutes. I'll put all of your hands down. Once done, raise your hands up. Huh? If you have any questions, drop in the chat. Any questions, drop in the chat. If you're done answering, raise your hands up in the participants. When will you do the lessons? Check your SMS. You have got an SMS talking about to join a WhatsApp community. So I'll be posting there most probably on 10th only. The time on 10th at what time I will do it, I'll let you know later. But on 10th I'll do it for sure. What community are you talking about? For the physical seminars, there was a separate community for Kalambu and separate WhatsApp community for Candy, which I made and sent the link through SMS. So I was talking about that. They would have got it through SMS, join it. For the first question, can't system developer come? Normally, developer is a person who creates an application, who builds an application. So in that scenario, the developer was actually Teekshana because Teekshana built the application. Got it? I didn't get it. Then drop me WhatsApp message as hashtag physical link or something physical killer, I guess. Physical Kalambu killer, I will send the link. For online seminars once also you said SMS sending something more. Online seminar Katita, the tute dispatch systems. If your tute was already delivered, you would have got about that. Have you already discussed the spreadsheet question in this paper? I don't think so. I will do that next. I think I know why I did not do it. My question is for 2 pages. It's hard to screenshot. That was the reason I would have skipped it. I'll do it now. Next. I got the SMS, but I didn't get the tute yet. Um, then probably we'll be getting it within tomorrow or the day after. When you are answering my doubt, my laptop betrayed me. I can't answer it again. Now, I'll answer it after 6 o'clock. I was just wondering. I was answering your question and you're lost. And others are confused. What am I jabbering? Because it's a connection of deployment and testing together. Those who are done, raise your hands up. For a minute remaining. Less than a minute remaining. Hmm. I got the ICT and maths tubes after the maths seminar. Wow. But anyways, before tomorrow's maths seminar, I got it. Just go and check in the website. Is the maths seminar recording visible? Because I actually put part of it and I deployed the system without doing testing. Just go and see the recording visible in the website. I'll let me know later. Anyways, the time is up. Let's take your answer. It works perfect. After setting up the new bill processing system in the supermarket, the computer system should take physical and logical measures. Thus, identify one physical problem and one logical problem in the computer and suggest the solution. You suggest the solution you suggest. Who made this paper mention? Send it for English club. Suggest is a lecturer. Why do you need this? You suggest. Make own that. Copy and complete the following table. Okay, let's write. So one of the physical problem that can happen is, let's say, theft or robbery. Someone can come and steal your computer. So if someone comes and steal your computer, but for let's say you have a problem of theft, what is the solution you can do? You can install something. What? You can fix something. Fix what? Exactly. You can fix CCTV cameras, locked doors. Correct. Okay. CCTV cameras is one option. Locked doors is another option, but camera is most CCTV camera is the most suitable option. Huh? Apart from theft, another thing that can happen is sorry, what you call natural disaster. Put a security lock. Fine, but not suitable. Okay. What is the solution we have for natural disaster? I come to that, Saravich. During natural disaster, we can lose our computer or we can lose the data in the computer. So in that situation, if you want to access the data which you lost, you should take what of the data? Maintain backups of data. This is another answer. Another problem that can happen is, normally these days in Sri Lanka also we had this issue. Current will go, come, go, and come, go, and come. So when current goes and come, the coming current, it's not the normal value. The coming current's power is very high. Okay. So the coming current's power is too high. That can sometimes affect certain devices. Okay. So what is the solution we have for these electricity fluctuations to make sure that for the device not to get more than required current? No, UPS is done during power cut. That's another physical problem. UPS is during power cut to have current. That's UPS. I'm saying electricity fluctuation. That means we don't have the same value of electricity. If you have too much of electricity, kind of, yes, Ahmad. Yes. Okay. For that, we have something called as a surge protector. Basically, like a 3-pin or leads. So surge protector will make sure that more than the required amount of current will not be passed through. And because of that, your computers are in the safe side. Another issue that can happen is power cut. So what is the solution we can have for power cut? For this only, you can have the solution as UPS, uninterrupted power supply. That small device is act like a battery for a computer. So these are some physical problems you can mention. Anyone having any different answers or anyone having any doubts here? There are more, but I have mentioned a few. If there's any questions or doubts, drop them in the chat. I'll answer them. Isn't data theft logical? That's why I said no. Were you there in my previous explanation? When I explained about tsunami, were you there? I told you, here also there is happening a data lost. There also there is happening data lost. Both are data lost. Here also it's data lost. There also data loss. But here data loss is happening due to natural disaster. There data loss is happening due to a, what do you call, the loss is happening due to big password. So it's not about what is happening. It's about how it's happening. So if it's happening due to, let's say, a physical problem, it's a physical problem. If it's happening due to, let's say, your problem, let's say your mistake, or your not much concerns, it's a logical problem. Okay? So data theft can come here as well, data theft can come there as well. And here I'm not talking about data theft. Huh? Here I'm talking about stealing the whole computer and going. Unwanted notices. No. Hardware firewall does not protect you from unwanted notices. It protects your device from unauthorized access. And that's not a, I mean, you can consider unauthorized access, that's basically like tangible, intangible problems. Exactly. Kind of. So logical problem you can tell, one of the logical problem you can have is weak password. So the solution for weak password is use a strong password. Another problem that can happen is, let's say, hacking. People can come and hack your computer. What is the solution we can have for hacking? To avoid unauthorized access, what should you use? For unauthorized access only, we use the firewall. Then virus. What is the solution we have for virus? Correct. Installing antivirus software. So like this, you can mention the logical problems and their respective solution. Anyone having any other different answers here or doubts? Let me know through the chat. Okay, so if you mention one physical problem, put 1 mark. If you mention the respective solution, put 1 mark. Here also one physical problem, 1 mark. Solution, 1 mark. What is firewall? There are two types of firewalls. One is hardware firewall and software firewall. The main purpose of firewall is it will block unauthorized access over the internet. Like for example, can you remember how does the browser work? Like for example, I told you that the browser will send the URL for the DNS server, and DNS server will give back the IP address. And your browser will go for the internet and find what is a computer having the IP address with that something. And it will send a request for this computer saying, hey, computer, give me this resource killer. And that computer will give this resource. So if your computer is a public, if your computer is set as public, anyone who has internet connection can send you a request to your computer and can get the data from the computer if your computer is public. But if your computer is private, anyone who has the IP address, they can't send you a request, right? So if they try sending a request, even say, let's say they somehow figured out the IP address and they send you a request, the firewall will act like a protection and it'll be like, hey, dude, you don't have access, you don't have authority to come here. How? And he'll just chase that person. So firewall is like a security who's going to check, do you have access to get some data from this computer through the internet? That's a long, broad topic. Let's make a question precise. I know. If we install firewall, should we have a password or not? Wait. It's like you're coming and asking me, um, how do I put it? It's like you're having a gate for the house, okay? But even though you have a gate for the house, inside your house, there is no any doors. Something like that. Okay, you have a house. The house has a gate, but there are no doors. All the rooms are open. You can anyone who if someone breaks the door, if someone breaks the gate, they can enter your house. So firewall is like your gate. Password is like your door. Got it? These are two different stuffs. Firewall is just to protect unauthorized access. People who don't have access to your internet, access to your device. See, yeah, the people who does not have access to the device, for them, you're blocking the access. You don't have authority to make a request. That kind of scenario. Does that make sense? You know? Next. Is there any questions? Drop in the chat. Sunita, I read this question differently, first of all. I first of all read this question as Sunita. Okay. So, like, okay, it's one of the wives of Amar Bandhu. I first of all read it like that. Anyways, Sunita, wife of Amar Bandhu Mudala, is earned some money. And whose English is this man? Sick. Is earned some money. Has earned some money by selling ornamental flowers to nearby residents. As a student of ICT, suggest one method by which her products can be Exactly. One method by which a product can be spread. Again, very bad English. It's not be which can be spread, which can be populated, or which can be publicized. Okay. So she can publicize that she's selling this by doing digital marketing. Is this a provincial paper? Yeah, Western Province paper. You can say digital marketing or advertising through social media. Or you can say marketing or advertising, whatever, using social media. If you just mention advertising, your answer is wrong. Huh? You tell how to advertise. If you just mention digital marketing, correct. But by using internet, she could post the flowers in a website, correct? Having a market space, be precise. Your answer is correct, but then you got to be more elaborative. You just say market space, it doesn't. You're telling you can have market space, local market space as well. Like if you put a normal shop also, it's called a market space. Posting her content through social media, correct. Starting online platform to sell her products, correct. Okay, one thing you can say is advertising through social media. One thing is creating a website, creating an e-commerce website. This is also a possible answer. And your answer also is also correct. So if you had mentioned either one of these answers, put one mark there. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. One of the supermarket workers is worried about the photos, about that the photos of her have been released. I feel to go and take English class for the person who made this paper, man. One of the supermarket workers is worried that, man, not about that, is worried that the photos of her have been released on the internet without her permission. What is the name of this kind of social violence? What is the name? No, that is not property right away. It's right. Ade, intellectual property right means the ownership of a property. Your face is not a ownership of property, okay? Why would a supermarket worker? Good question. Very good question. Very, very good question. Why would a supermarket worker worry about her? Very good question. Something sus. Should go and tell Amarabandhu. Anyways, what do you call is it's a cybercrime. Is it possible to get rid of free of this kind of social violence? Briefly explain your answer by giving reasons. Okay. Here the marks is depending on exactly fasting is a it's a but anyways, here you can tell yes also, you can say no also. The marks depend on how you elaborate. But the most suitable answer is no. You can't get rid of this kind of social violence. So answer is like 99% chance is no. Okay. And but again, if you want, you can make it yes as well. But again, it depends on your answer. Okay. So how you say no, you can say, is it possible to get rid of this kind of social violence? One thing you can say is if you say no, I'll tell how, yes, I'll tell how. Okay. If you say no, how you can say is no, as what do you call, you can mention, okay, Alex, I'll tell you the answer. Okay. So you can say no, and how your reason can be is because wherever you go nowadays, we have CCTV cameras fixed. And wherever you go, you might sometimes get captured in certain photos. So it's very hard to go and see who took your photo, who has your photo. Going and finding out is difficult. So therefore, coming out of is difficult. That's how you can say no. If you're saying yes, then there's a different perspective you can answer as well. So yes, you can say yes, you can get rid of this kind of social violence by not posting your photos on social media and let's say wearing mask and going out so people can't capture your face easily, or else the government introducing a law that if someone does this, they get a very severe punishment such that they will not even think of doing it. So it depends on your reasoning basically. Yeah? Wear face covers. That's also correct. So it is. What do you call? Yes or no depends on your reasoning. So if you have respective reasoning, you can give marks. Easy method in face cover. Yeah, mask can go game over at least. At least. That's why I was like, let's go in the middle path. So yeah, if you had mentioned no and if your reasoning is correct, put 1 mark. If you have mentioned yes and your reasoning is correct, like what I said, put 1 mark. So both are correct. Now I understand why people still wear mask. That's the actual reason. No 4 questions without 4. Anyone have any doubts here? You want to ask or you want to double check your answer? Let me know to the chat. If you don't have any questions, check your marks out of 1. For this question, only 1 mark. Huh? Yes, 1 mark or no 1 mark. And with the reason, with the reasoning, huh? Without reasoning, no marks. So 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark, 5 mark, 6 marks. Out of 6 marks, how many marks have got? Roman number 2 and Roman number 3. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat as well. Why both yes and no? That's why I said depends on your answer, depends on your reasoning. It's like, for example, if I take a cup, okay, and if I fill water for the half, one person comes and tell the cup is half empty, so half full, that's correct. The cup is half full, that's correct. If another person comes in and the cup is half empty, that's also correct. The difference is two different perspectives. That's why I said yes is also correct, no is also correct. Your answer is dependent on your reasoning. So just by mentioning only yes, you will not get marks. Just by mentioning only no, you don't get marks. Your marks is dependent on your reasoning. If your reasoning is valid, you'll be getting the marks. Got it? What is the reason? That's what I said, man. For yes, you can say yes, this can be stopped by what do you call not posting your photos on social media and going out with a mask or something that covers your face so that you're on the safe side. That's how yes you can say. Or the government including a very strict law. That's yes. How you can say no is mainly by saying that what you called wherever you go, you might find what you called uh, CCTV cameras, or let's say in events you might people find people taking photos in it by mistake. Someday a photo can come, so it's very difficult to run away from that killer you can mention. So it depends on the answer, your reason. Sarah, I'll tell that at last after this. Remind me, Atin. Any other questions, anyone? In all of the questions, with the question, we will. Has my English in order will questions will tested like this? Maybe in coders, will there be questions tested like this? Possible. Can I please know which paper is this? Western Points, grade 11 Western Points, pseudo paper which happened to you last month. Okay. This question, I'll keep it like this. The spreadsheet question starts from here, from two-way, from left side down it starts and it goes here. So just go through this given data and try answering this question. I'll give you 10 minutes. Where's the timer? Okay. Hey, by the way, today is the last paper class. Huh? Like today, we are khalas. Sorry. We have recap class tomorrow. Yes, we have. I think it has been almost a year since we started the paper class. Can you imagine that only next week is the last week before exam? Wow. As you are fasting, you think I'll answer that question while fasting? Do we have class on Saturday? Go and watch yesterday's recording. No, no. Colonna physical class over. Actually, all Colonna students has to join tomorrow online. I'll be sending the details today through SMS. Just check. Do we have a physical class on Thursday? Well, yes. It is on coming Thursday. It's the last day. I told yesterday's class, man. Where were you yesterday? Yes, I'm not. Once you're done, raise your hands up in the participants list. Once you're done, raise your hands up. Okay, time is up. Let's check your answer. The question is saying, with the aim of saving the cost of electricity consumed in his sir, you didn't tell lies today. Is it because you're fasting? I'm not going to answer that question. With the aim of saving the cost of electricity consumed in his home uh, and generating additional income, Mr. Fernando built an electricity generation system using solar panels in his home. From January 3rd, 2024, the electricity generation of the system was connected to the national grid, and therefore the details regarding the meter, blah, 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 okay, unwanted data. The following clarification regarding the meter readings are provided for understandings. Meter reading, the consumption. Import means the meter reading data electricity consumed at Fernando's house. Okay. Meter reading generation export refers to the generation exported to national grid. Okay, makes sense. Wait, unwanted paragraph. There's nothing that's useful here. Why did they even give this paragraph? Fine. Calculation of monthly electricity consumption in Mr. Fernando's house during exact time was during the month of February is as follows. So they told you here how to calculate the what do you call the electricity consumption for February. Write down the formula to get the monthly consumption for 29th February into cell C4. C4. Okay. So if you want to find the consumption in February, they're saying you take the meter reading based on the consumption in February, first of all. So February consumption, that is there in which cell address? Like for the amount of electricity consumed by this fellow in February. Yes, you can see it's there in the B4 cell address. Here we have the amount of electricity consumed. Fine. Next, from there you subtract the meter reading consumption in January. So January is there in which cell address? Correct. The January reading is there in B3 cell address. Okay. So the answer is going to be equals B4 minus B3. If you got the answer correct, mark it correct. If you have any question, drop it in the chat. Anyone having doubts here? Put one, how many marks there? Put 2 marks there. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. The monthly net export equals sum B4 minus B3. Why do you want to include sum? And it's inside sum, do you normally include the subtraction? No, no. Inside, normally functions are used to perform a calculation for a cell range. And again, sum is mainly used for addition. If you put equals sum B4 minus B3, you get the answer. I mean, the formula will give you the correct value. But technically, that's not the correct answer. So sometimes if the person who's marking your paper is very weak at ICT, then they will not give you marks. Like if he's a person who's going to stick to the marking scheme, they will not give you marks. So unwantedly, don't become smart. Okay, that's not a smartness which you should know. Should you put brackets? Not necessary. Very rigid paper. Yes. Next. Monthly next export is calculated by subtracting the monthly consumption from the monthly generation. Okay, so I think from the monthly generation, you're going to subtract the monthly consumption. Okay, from the monthly generation, you're going to subtract the monthly consumption. Write in the formula that should be entered in cell F3 to find the monthly net export in January. F3. F3 is here. So if you want to find the monthly next export, if you want to find this export value, first of all, you should know the monthly generation value. So monthly generated value, respective for that F3 is there in which cell address? Respective to cell F3, the monthly generation is there in which cell address? Correct. This column is talk about monthly generation. So respect to F3, the monthly generation is there and the E3 cell address. Okay. So from the E3, from the monthly generation, you have to subtract the monthly consumption. So monthly consumption is there in which cell address respective to F3? Yes. You can say monthly consumption is this column. So let's talk about monthly consumption. So respect to F3, the monthly consumption we have is in the C3 cell address. So answer is E3 minus C3. Is that clear all of you? If it's correct, put correct and put 2 marks. If you have any questions, drop your questions in the chat. Next, monthly net export is multiplied by unit price to calculate the monthly income. Okay. They are saying you can calculate the monthly income, okay, by multiplying the monthly net export by unit price. Okay, so income is basically the net export amount multiplied by the unit price amount. If the unit price is shown in cell B1, okay, the unit price mentioned in B1, write down the formula that should be entered in G3 to find the monthly income for January. G3. Okay, you want to find the monthly income. So you can see monthly income is monthly net export into monthly net price. Respective to G3, the net export is there in which cell address? This is a G3 cell. Huh? So respective to G3, the net export is there in which cell address? Yes, the net export is there in cell address of F3. Okay. And then the unit price is there in which cell address? Correct. The unit price there in the B1 cell address. Now, in this question, they have not told you that they're going to copy the formula. They have not told you that specifically. But practically speaking, normally in these kind of scenarios, if I'm going to if I'm going to find the what do you call income, I'll be writing a formula here, and without again writing the formulas here, what I might simply do is I might copy the formula for the remaining cells to make my work easy. Now you know when you copy a formula from one cell and paste it onto another cell, something changes. What changes? When you copy a formula from one cell and go and paste it onto another cell, something changes. Yes, the cell addresses in it changes. If there's any cell addresses mentioned, the cell addresses changes. And the cell addresses changes respectively, which means from this cell, if I go and paste it to this cell, I'm going one cell down. When I go one cell down, not only the formula, not only the what you call formula is being copied to the next cell. When it's going down, all the cell addresses also will go down. So for example, in this cell, let's say I go and paste in this cell. If I go and paste in that cell we'll have a formula. Okay, in this cell, we'll have the red color highlighted cell. We'll have the formula. If it's going one cell down, there the formula will be also going one cell down, and it will become F4 into B2. Like F3, if you go one cell down, it will become F4. B1, if you go one cell down, it will become B2. Now, if you look at F4 cell, respective for the red color highlighted cell, in F4 cell, do you have the monthly net export? Hmm? The F4 cell. In F4 cell, do you have the monthly net export respective for the red color highlighted cell? Yes, correct. And we have to multiply the what do you call net export by unit price. No. So in B2 cell, do we have the unit price? No. See in B2 cell, we don't have unit price. So normally, when I'm copying from to the below cells, when I'm copying for the below cells, just like the formula has been copied going down, in the cell address will go down. So when you're copying a formula, if you want the cell address or a part of the cell address not to change, we do something called as absolute cell referencing. So instead of mentioning the formula like this, I'll mention the formula like this equals F3 into $2. So now what I'm doing is I put a dollar symbol in front of the number 2. So what this will do is it will protect the number 2 from changing. So it will block the number 2 from getting changed. And therefore, when I copy the formula for the remaining cells, F4, F3 become F4, F5, F6, that will get changed. But B2 will be constant. It will not change. Okay. The reason it will not change is because I have done here absolute self-referencing. Now, in this question, they are not told about their copy pasting. So, because they are not told about copy pasting, even the upcoming question, the next few questions also, the next few questions also, they are not given an idea with the formulas copying. So, because they are not given the idea the formula is not copying, when they're giving the marks, they should give the marks for both. Practically speaking, they will give the marks for both. But again, I will tell you, this is not a very suitable answer. It is not a very suitable answer. The most suitable answer is using absolute self-referencing and writing like this. Is that clear of you? Sorry, $1, $1, $1, $1. Not $2, $1. The most suitable formula is like this. Anyone having any questions there? There's any questions up in the chat? Should put dollar before B also. Not necessary, because when you're going one side down, see, you're going for, if you wrote for this one, right? You wrote for January. If you're copying here, you're going February, for March, April. When you're copying here, you're going only one cell down. So when a formula moves one cell down, even the cell address also changes one cell down. So technically, when you're jumping rows, only this one will get changed. One will become 2, 3, 4. B will never get changed. So because B will never get changed, it is not compulsory to put the dollar symbol there. If you put, it's correct, but not compulsory. I have mentioned why it's compulsory. F3 into B1 equals G3. You can't write equation. They're asking for a formula. So you can't mention there what equal F3 into B1 equals G3. Don't mention the G3 there. It should be equals F3 into B1. So if you mention that F3 into B1 equals G3, you will not get marks. The equal symbol has to be there. Here I will give you marks for both. But again, I tell you, I don't like giving marks for this. It's not suitable. To give marks for this is not suitable. Sometimes in your exams, they won't have given marks. Not wrong. Mentioning dollar for both is not wrong. You can mention dollar for both. And you can mention as F3 into dollar $B, $1 is correct. But unnecessary. This is unnecessary. I'm not needed. Any other questions around? If there's any questions, up in the chat. Come to the next one. So he also put 2 marks if your answer is correct. If they haven't asked to reference, it's okay. Not that they will not ask about reference. They'll tell that imagine this formula will be copied for the remaining months as well. So if they have told that this formula is going to be copied for the remaining months, then you can't. Can we mention dollar in every instance? No. You mention dollar only to solve a problem. Absolute self-reference is a solution for a problem. So if there is no problem, then why do you want to have a solution? Now the problem that I showed you the problem here, right? What was the problem I showed you? When I copied the formula from that blue color cell to the red color cell, I showed you that F3 became F4 and B1 became B2. F3 becoming F4 is correct, but B1 becoming B2 is wrong. To solve that problem, to make sure B1 doesn't become B2, to make sure B1 becomes B1 itself, add the dollar symbol. So first of all, you find out what is the problem. And then you put the dollar symbol as a solution for the problem. Don't just imagine and put the dollar symbol. Got it? See, it became a B2 to make sure it doesn't become B2. Hey, the dollar symbol. So you include the dollar symbol only if you want to keep something fixed. If you want something not to change. Next. Accumulated income. For the previous questions too, if I made the source absolute, it's okay, honestly, but just in case. Will I get marks? No. For the previous questions, if you made it absolute, you will not get marks. You can keep the column names absolute if you want, but row numbers is not absolute. Numbers is related. Accumulated income for each month is obtained by calculating the sum of the monthly income from January to the respective month. Okay. You can calculate the accumulated income, that means total income, by using sum of monthly income from January to the respective month. Thus, the relevant formula is given in the formula form of equals function set on cell 2 to get the accurate incoming cell H3 for 30th January. And it is copied to H11. Okay. Write down the formula to get the accurate income for the month of January in cell H3. Right. So they are saying you can get this accurate income between this value. How you get this from January until that month. Now, this is the first month, so it's taking only this value. But if you look at the February value, you can see it's taking this 21,000 plus 22,000. It's adding both of this. If you take 68,000, it's adding all three values. If you take this one, it's adding all these four values. If you take this one, it's adding all these five values. So what it's doing is from that first month until the respective month, it's adding the values, right? So you can write the formula like this. In all the situation, in every formula, the first month is going to be constant. Okay. So to make sure the first term doesn't change, when I copy it from here to here, here to here, here to here, to make sure the first month is constant, I'm going to keep that in using absolute cell reference. So first month is giant G3 cell. So for G3 cell, I'll write the formula equals G$3. Without just mentioning G3, I mentioned G$3 because I want for every cell, the starting cell is going to be the same. Okay. We're going to find the total of values. Okay. So and they ask us to use function. So the function that is used to find total of values is a sum function. So I'm going to mention equal sum G$3 to the current cell, current month. Now, when I'm calculating for this January, the current month is G3. Okay. So if I have this as a formula inside H3 cell, if this was the formula H3 cell, let's just first of all see is our formula correct. Okay. Now, when I copy this formula from H3 cell, which is this pink color cell which I highlighted here, from H3 cell, they're saying they're going to copy it to H11 cell. When you copy a cell from H3 cell to H11 cell, are we jumping columns? When you go from here to here, are we jumping columns? I'll explain. Wait. No. Are we jumping rows? Yes. We are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going 8 cells down. Okay, we're going 8 cells down. Now, when you go 8 cells down, even a cell like this also will go 8 cells down. So, for example, this G3 you have here, that will also go 8 cells down. So, equal sum, the second address, cell address, it will go 8 cells down. So, once it go 8 cells down, G3 will become G11. Okay. But tell me, once you go 8 cells down, will this G$3 change? Will the G$3 get changed? No. The reason it will not get changed is because you can see there is a dollar symbol protecting the row number. It's saying I can't. Normally, if you go from G3, if you go 8 cells down, it will go to G11. But here, the 3 is not being allowed to change to 11 with the help of the dollar symbol. So now if you see some G3 to G11, just does G3 cell has the first month's, what do you call it, monthly income? Does G3 cell has a first month monthly income? Yes, you can say G3 has a first month's monthly income. So that's correct. And then does G11 has the last, I mean, the current month's monthly income? We wrote the formula in H11 now. So we talk about H11. Tell me, does this G11 cell address has the current month's income? Yes. So when you say equal sum G3 to G11, it's going to add all these values. And once you add all these values, you'll be getting this answer of 202,760. So then, is our formula correct? Yes, it is working correctly. Why? When you say accumulated income, you're saying from the first month up to the current month. So the reason I took here both as G3 is because I'm saying from the first month it is G3 until G3. So G3 to G3 means only one cell address will be there. Again, keep in mind, I have used colon here, not comma. Comma will give you different answer. When I say colon, I'm going to start from here and end here. So basically only one cell is being chosen. But if I go one cell down, it'll go G3 to G4, then G3 to G5. It keeps on changing. Did that make sense? Yes or no? You got this correct? Put 2 marks there. If you have any questions, drop in chat. I didn't get it. Let's say I have a spreadsheet like this. And let's say I have values here. For example, I have numbers like 3, 5, 7, 87, 63, 41. So I have some random values here. Okay. I want here to show from the first cell until here how much is the addition. So basically, I want here to show me 3. In this cell, I want to show from the first cell up to the current row. That is, I want the addition of these two. 3 plus 5, I want to show here 8. Here, I want to show from the first cell up to this row. That is 3 plus 5 plus 7. Which is 15. First of all, tell me, do you understand what type of values we're going to get here? So if you notice here, what's happening here is I'm adding the values from the first row until the current row. First row until current row. First row until current row. So what I'm going to do is, if I say the first row, now when I'm writing the formula here, for this row, the first row is going to be D1. The first row is going to be D1. So I'm going to write here formula equals D1. It's like cumulative frequency, exactly. So I'm going to write a equals sum and mention the first cell address D1. Without just mention D1, I'm going to mention D$1 so that for every cell I copy, the D1 is going to be same. D1, 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 D1. And then I'm saying from the first row until the current row. Okay. So current row means what is the cell address of the number next to it? The current row is then again D1. So now if I write like this, equals sum D$1 to D1, I have D$1, D1. If I copy this to one cell down, here it was D$1 to D1, here is D$1 to D2. Okay, first cell until the current row. If I copy for the next cell, see D1 to D3. Next cell, D1, D4. Now understand how it works. From the first cell until the current cell. And first row until the current row. First row until the current row. First row until the current row. So here first row and current row both are same. That's why D1, D1. Make sense? Okay, perfect. There's one more question, you know. Anyone have any questions there? If there's any questions, drop in the chat. I'm going for the next one. Consider the following spreadsheet segment that shows the values of the variables x in a cell range B1 to x1. Okay, so you can see there's a variable called x. It seems the values of x is mentioned from B1 to K1. Fine. And the values of y corresponding to x mentioned from B2 to, B2 to K2. Okay, this is fine. If y is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 4, write the formula to be entered in cell B2 to get the value of y. Note that the formula is copied from B2. Okay, fine. Now you want to calculate the value of y. So here you have the equation of how to calculate. First, you will get x squared, right? When you're going to calculate for this blue color highlighted cell, what is the respective cell address having the value of x? X is there in which cell address? Respective to him, in which cell address do I have x? Exactly, I have in the B1 cell. So I want to get now x squared. To find the value of y, I have to first of all get x squared. To get x squared, you can mention B1 to the power 2. So this symbol is called the exponential symbol. Exponential symbol is used to create the powers. So I'm mentioning B1 to the power 2 plus 5x. So I'm going to mention plus. When we say 5x, we're talking about 5 times x. So 5 into x. Again, x is then B1 cell address. So I'm going to write B1 again plus 5x plus 4. You can write the formula like this. If you write like this, is correct. If you want, you can include brackets for everything. Not compulsory. Like for that B1, if you want, you can include brackets for this. You can include brackets for this. Again, brackets is not compulsory here. Okay. So left is also correct, right is also correct. So what I did here is the question had given me a formula here, how to calculate x, how to calculate y. Y is basically x squared plus 5x plus 4. So what I did is I replace x squared with b1 to the power 2. I replace 5x with 5 into b1. And I replace 4 with just 4. Now if I copy this formula for the remaining cells also, it will give me the respective value. Got it? Here we use relative cell referencing. Because when I copy it from here to here, I want the b to change, right? Because if you take 0, respect to this, y is the value of x is there here. So when I copy a formula from the B2 cell, and if I go and paste it to C2 cell, what will happen? The cell address will move to the right side. So in that case, B1 will become C1. B1 will become C1, which is the respective value of x. And it's correct. Got it? Why do you need absolute cell referencing here? Like, what? If you really want, there is no necessity, but if you really want to put absolute cell referencing, you can put for the row number, not for the column name. Huh? Column name is changing, but unwanted. Okay. If there's any other questions, drop in the chat. If you got this answer correct, put 1 mark there. Okay. Why is my lab stuck? Quick. Okay. 1 mark there. It's telling you it's time to finish. Now we have 1 more question. Wait. When did I finish class on time, man? Poruma. Why is it stuck in? Exactly. There is another. So much time. Okay, nice. Okay. So we got that correct. Put 1 mark there. Next. Name the appropriate chart type in spreadsheet software to represent the cell range A1 to K2. What is there from A1 to K2? Okay, from A1 to K2, we have the different values of X. Okay. So to show the different values of X, to show the values of X changing, you can mention any chart you want. Again, pie chart is not suitable. I'll not recommend pie chart. The charts I would recommend here is, let's say, column chart. Extra no. The reason no is because they're asking you, they're being specific about B2 here. They're saying you want to find the value of Y in B2. So if you're talking about B2, respective to B2, the X value we have here is B1. Got it? So yeah. Why do you want XY scalar chart, man? Wait. A1 to K2. Sorry. I read this A1 to A. I read this as A1 to K1. Sorry. I read this as A1 to K1. My bad. If you want to show A1 to K2, then yes, it's the XY scalar chart. Wait. No. It's just two data. You can do this with the bar chart as well. You can have one axis for the x-axis, one axis for y-axis. So for example, when x is minus 2, see, this is not minus 2, this is plus 2. No? Example, let's say when x is plus 2 and y is plus 2, you can go and mark it here. So you can represent the values of x when x is minus 2. Yeah, when x is minus 2, y is minus 2. One bar for that. When x is 2, when x is, let's say, 3, y is 1. Yeah, you can do it in bar chart itself. So yeah, bar chart is correct. Column chart is correct. Line chart is correct. XY scalar chart is unknown type. Pie chart is useless, irrelevant. XY scalar chart is not relevant to here. So sometimes they might give wrong for XY scalar chart because you can do this in bar chart, column chart, line chart. Two axis domain. Only when you have more than two sets of data, I ask you to go for XY scalar chart. Why is it wrong? One axis you can have x. This is not. Did I tell you this is plus two? Sorry, minus two. I told you I'm going to consider as plus two. This is not a graph. This is a chart. In graph and chart is different. It's not compulsory that your chart has to start from zero. You can start with any number you want. So you can start here with minus two basically. So your chart will look something like this. Are you fasting? Yes, I am fasting. So there is 5 more minutes for the breaking fast by ourselves. So express culture is wrong. Depends on who is marking because basically you can represent using any chart. You can even pie chart they have to give marks because you can represent. But even though you can represent, it's not suitable to represent. So if you're going to represent using this, let's say the bar chart, you can have this as let's say the values of x and values of x are ranging from minus two, minus one, zero, that means so minus two, minus one, zero, one, two, three. And then values of y is ranging from minus two to 88. So I can have it values as let's say minus two and my what do you call 20, 40, 60, something like that. So the first one I can go and mark minus two and two. The bar like this. Second one I can go and mark minus one, zero. So I can do bar like this. Why is it stopped? Again, you can give marks for X by Scarchat today here because they are not being specific about comparing Hari. They're not told anything about in detail. They just told about represent data. So represent data, you can use any charts you want. So here I'll give marks for anything. But again, I tell you, for this situation, you can do it using two axes, right? So most suitable one would be bar, column, or line. But I'll give you marks for all 5 charts. Put 1 mark if you mention any chart. But again, I tell you, most suitable is bar, column, or line. Now calculate the marks out of 10 and tell me how many marks you get. Here's that question. Magic Hassan. That is different. This is different. Here I'm writing slowly. Here I'm writing fast. And no space cluster. Good, good, good. Okay, so with that, we're done for the day. I actually took 20 minutes extra. Sorry on that. But anyways, anyone having any questions? You're hungry? There's 3 more minutes. Go and eat after 3 minutes. If you have any questions, you can drop in the chat. Others, you can leave. We're done for the day. You're welcome. It doesn't. Travel speech. There on there. Yeah, in 3 minutes, you're going 2 minutes bang. So go and listen for the bang. Good, Fabula. Welcome. Answer for B1. B1 is this. 1 to the power equals 1 to the power 2 into B1 plus 4, or else this is also correct. Both are correct. Okay, you all can leave it done for the day. Okay, as there was no other questions, I'm going to be meeting. Have a nice day. Bye bye.